So we're just going to kind of run through just some of the basics on each of these terms, give you kind of a general idea of how they're properly used, and chime in if you have any questions. So first up is Ex Works. This can be applied to any mode of transport. In this case, the buyer has all the control. I see a lot of my importers use Ex Works because they want full control. They want to be able to pick up that freight at their supplier's door and run with it. In this term, the seller has no obligation to or payment obligations for the arrangement of transport.
So I've got a question that came in, and this can be for either Patrick or Allison. Is Ex Works always considered a routed shipment?
Well, that's a good question, actually. But the fact is, the answer is no. And one thing to touch on with, Ex Works, we see this quite a bit on exports out of the United States. It's really the standard term that we see. While you don't have any, risk or liability once that cargo is picked up and booked with the carrier, you do have liability as far as export compliance goes. But with regards to the question, is it always considered a routed shipment? The answer with that would be no, unless, the shipper is providing the freight forwarder with written authorization to file the export clearance or a power of attorney to do so. And 9 times out of 10, in our operations, we don't see that. We don't get the written authorization from the buyer overseas. We receive a booking from our agent telling us to contact the shipper. We do so, and in most of the time, what we do is we obtain a shipper's export declaration from the shipper, which is then they're giving us the authorization to file the export clearance. And once we have that from the shipper, really, that's no longer a routed export transaction. The routed shipments really, that has to be a conversation you have with your buyer early on in the process to make sure that they're going to issue either you, as the shipper, authorization to file export clearance, and you can file that on their behalf, or they really need to get, you need to touch base with their forwarder in a lot of cases to make sure that they provide the power of attorney for the agent at origin who's coordinating the pickup and filing, and inevitably typically filing the export clearance.